Hi, I wanted to talk about the differences between the iPhone and a Droid. This is a Droid Bionic. Um, but basically I want to kind of talk about Droid features, so you might have the Bionic or something else. As you can see, one thing, just clearly right here, you'll see that little blinking light up there. That means I have a message. There is no blinking light on the iPhone, so you basically have to turn on the screen to see if you had any messages. Nice to know. Some of them I think may not have that. Most of them do. So that's one thing. When you turn the screen, obviously screen size. Granted, people say that the iPhone screen is fantastic. I think leave it as it may be. It's fine. No issue with it. Obviously the screen is much smaller. This is a 3.5-inch screen versus a 4-inch screen. So you're going to get a lot more real estate on the Droid phone. So some of the other features that, and I'm going to tell you right now that I'm leaning more toward the Droid just because I'm replacing my iPhone with the Droid Bionic. One of the clear obvious things is 4G versus only 3G available on the iPhone anywhere, whether it be Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, only 3G. I'm sure the next version will probably have 4G. The other thing too is screen customization. So you can kind of create widgets however you want on your screen. You have clearly both have multiple screens where you can move between screen to screen. The thing with the iPhone is all you really have is widgets and square boxes that can hold multiple widgets. That's it. On the Google, the Droid phones, you have customization. So you can put, and here this has on the top, basically people that you regularly call. It has, you can put weather and other kinds of calendars. I'm not going to get too in details of that. Here you pretty much just have, it is what it is, square boxes. Everything's an app. There's tons of apps, so yes, but everything there's an app for that. There's really not much integration, which is the next thing I wanted to talk about, is that, for example, if I wanted to, and I'm not sure if I have it set up here, but if I want to on here, on the Droid, I can set up a little widget for my Bluetooth, right? So there's Bluetooth toggle. So one time I set that up and there's my Bluetooth toggle. So anytime I wanted to turn on the Bluetooth, I could even put it on the main screen and just press one button. But here I just hit this and I've turned on my Bluetooth. With the iPhone, you have to go into all your settings. So you have to go settings, you have to go down here to general, you have to go to Bluetooth, and then you have to toggle it on and off. So there's quite a few steps to get there. There's no way, I've actually looked, there is no app for it. So that's the only way you can do it. Here you can turn it on and off with a widget. It can go on any screen you want. You can customize that. One of the other things about the Droids, not particularly with the Bionic, but some of them have your various form factors. So some of them actually have flip-out keyboards. With the iPhone, you have one form factor. Now, that could be a good or a bad, because one form factor means that they make this phone and they put it together well. It's a well put together phone. The Droids, you have some that have smaller screens, bigger screens, flip out keyboards, all kinds of form factors, so you can pick the one that you want. But then again, I guess that could also be confusing. So again, kind of going back and forth between the two. Major plus, I think I mentioned 4G, only 3G. The other thing, like I said, customization of your screens. You can put whatever you want on the screen, which is a really nice thing to have. You can make it however you want. Different individuals that you want to call directly, you just press the button, and you have features that I want to call them, send them an email and such right there. On another thing that's I think is really key is that the Droid phones support Flash. iPhone does not, and big iPhone pushers and people that love it and swear by it will tell you that, well, Apple doesn't want to support Flash. Well, it's used a lot by a lot of websites, so I'm not going to go to one, but you can go to websites and it is not going to be supported. If there's Flash content, it's going to tell you that there's an error with your browser, to update your browser, but it's because it doesn't support Flash. This does support Flash. There's a bunch of other features that you can go one by one and say what's better, what's not. This particular Android one has, again, I haven't set it up yet, but I can put my social networks here. So I can just go right from here, just flip over to my screen and then see what's going on in my social network. With here, I could have it right here, but I can go here and pick which account that I want to look at, Facebook, Twitter, or such. But you don't have that. You don't have that on the iPhone, where you can have them just right there on a home screen. So there's a lot more you can do as far as customization, whereas you just have not as much. Again, size difference, screen quality. I don't know that people can say one's much better than the other. Bionic, people have complained and said it's not as good as some of the other ones. Again, all different kinds of form factors. New to the iPhone is this drop-down menu with notifications, something that the Droids have had since the original Droid, this drop-down screen. So I don't think that was something innovative that Apple just came out with. The other thing too that I like is that if you look at your mail or text messages or anything where you want to type, basically built into it there's a little microphone and you can type something. Hello, how are you today? Alright, it has I love how are you today. Alright, so maybe I'll try it one more time. Hello, how are you today? Hello, how are you today? It worked. So when it comes to the iPhone, if I type in to a text message, and get to my text messages, there is no place that you can actually select to do that. On the Droid, you have the little microphone that will always allow you, in almost any program that there's a keyboard, do voice using. Again, you can do it on the iPhone, but you have to go separately into this program, Dragon Dictation. Maybe there's other programs, but so you got to open this program, you have to record it, and then you have to move it into another program, so it's not as seamless. There's a lot of things that are app driven when it comes to the Apple iPhone, and with Droid a lot of it's built in, and I think they're, again, as competitors, it's going to get closer to being similar, but I just think that there's a lot more to be said for the Android. And I also have to say that to be able to have 4G so much faster than 3G and a larger screen, that wins me. I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to share any other insights I have. Thanks.